oversee and prepare study reports and policy analysis papers on subject of current relevance for policy and lawmakers. Our co-organizers for this conference are United States India Importers Council. The USIIC, United States India Importers Council, aims to be the leading organization assisting government bodies, industries, association, corporate agent, Indian importers and American exporters in the United States and India. The US India Importers Council acts as an intermediary organization to facilitate partnership and trade between Indian and American businesses, thus acting as a catalyst in promoting economic growth between the United States and India. The other co-organizer is the Center for Entrepreneurship Development. The Center for Entrepreneurship Development, CED, a government of Gujarat organization, and is the first of the kind in this country. Established in 1979, the center is engaged in promotion of skills and entrepreneurship across the state of Gujarat. The concept behind CED is to develop entrepreneurs in the urban as well as rural areas of the state, who can establish their own enterprise, which in turn aids in economic growth of the state and also creates employment opportunity for others. Our next co-organizer is LM College of Pharmacy, LMCP. LM College of Pharmacy was founded in the year of 1947 by the most trusted and philanthropic educational trust, the Ahmedabad Education Society, affiliated to Gujarat Technology University. Its motto is to excel in pharmacy education, engage in cutting-edge research to advance healthcare and drug discovery. It has played a pivotal role in the rise of service social entrepreneurship, cluster development, and women entrepreneurship. Our next co-organizer is Gujarat National Law University, GNLU. The Gujarat National Law University, a public school and a national law university, is located in Knowledge Corridor of Gandhinagar, the capital of Gujarat. Formed in the year 2003, GNLU was the seventh national law university to be set up in the country. It was established with the active support of the Government of India, the Government of Gujarat, and the Judicial Fraternity. Our next co-organizer is Institute of Law, Nirma University. Founded on the vision of Padma Shri Dr. Karsanbhai K. Patel, the Institute of Law, Nirma University, embodying the principle of judicial education, excellence, and professionalism, imparts quality legal education and has produced new generation lawyers, leaders, and policymakers over years. Our next co-organizer is Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, EDII. The Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, an autonomous and not-for-profit institute set up in 1983, is sponsored by Apex Financial Institution, the IDBI Bank Limited, IFCI Limited, ICICI Bank Limited, and State Bank of India with the support of the government of Gujarat. EDI has successfully demolished the myth that entrepreneurs are born and cannot be made. Though through well-conceived training interventions and capacity building activities over the last 3 decades, EDII has equipped thousands of people with entrepreneurial skills. EDII conducts a variety of programs around trust areas such as entrepreneurship, education and research, micro enterprises, microfinance and sustainable livelihood, SMEs, and business development services, social entrepreneurship, cluster development, and women entrepreneurship. Our next co-organizer is Loyola Center for Research and Development, run by the Xavier's Research Foundation Trust, an autonomous institute. It was established in the year 1987 in St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. Its goal is to do research in science and technology and the humanities. The center does not only employ scientific staff dedicated to research, but also provides infrastructural support and expertise to students working on frontline research fields in environmental microbiology and plant biotechnology. The mission of the center is to target grassroots community on the fringes of our economy, and through innovation, entrepreneurship, training, and hand-holding setup production units of medium, small, and micro level. Now, before we start this webinar, I would kindly request all the participants to mute the speakers for the smooth functioning of the session. Kindly note that the question and answer rounds will be taken at the end of this webinar. Talking about the subject for today, IP in pharma. In today's era, pharma industry is one of the most promising industry, having huge profits, growth, knowledge, and possibilities in India. Indian pharma industry has grown very rapidly in recent times. The focus is on improving efficiency and productivity through novel ideas and business model. We aim to provide you in-depth information on the subject matter through this webinar. With this background, let me introduce you to Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya. Dr. Rajesh Kumar Acharya is the proprietor of HK Acharya and Company. He is a patent and trademark attorney who is multitasking in creativity and commitment to the intellectual property matters. He provides comprehensive action plans to national and international clients in a worldwide range of fields to protect their immensely valuable intangible assets. Under his guidance, the firm has grown from a modest beginning to its present position as one of the leading intellectual property firms in India. He accumulated a wealth of experience in prosecution and litigation of patents, trademarks, designs, and copyright and other intellectual property related matters. He is the member of various national organizations related to intellectual property laws and also an active member of AIPLA, ABA, APAA, AIPPI, etc. He is also a member of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce and the president of the US chapter of USIIC, that is United States India Importers Council. I request Sir to start this webinar by sharing his knowledge.
Good morning, all of you. As such, on behalf of Rajiv Gandhi National Institute and Mark Patent Org, I welcome all of you. This markpatent.org, it is an educational institute spreading awareness of intellectual properties since more than 15 years. And I'm very happy to share with you that Padmin Bhai, who is with us since our first seminar when it was organized 50 years back. So continuously he's with us. We have today a galaxy of speakers who are expert in IP, either from the business side or from the research side, and also from the government and the educational institute like LM College of Pharmacy. I welcome all the speakers. Also, I welcome our organizers like CED, USIIC, that is United States and India Importers Council, LM College of Pharmacy, where LM College Pharmacy, I did my doctorate from LM College of Pharmacy, and GNLU, Nirma University, EDI, Xavier Research Institute. After particularly this pandemic situation, from seminar we moved to webinar, and this is, we have run in this particular February, we run many webinars with our organizers and very good speakers, and it is an alternative of seminar, and we find it rather very useful and comfortable. So in the series of this webinar, now from this webinar, we started some specialization. So it is IP in pharma, because pharma industry, particularly in India, is very important, and particularly nowadays in pandemic and particularly this COVID treatment, it is playing a very vital role. Only things are required. It is awareness in pharma also for the IP, because we see that in USA there are more than 4 lakhs patents are being filed. In Japan, it is more than 3.5 lakhs patents are being filed, and our sweet neighbor China, they are filing 20 lakhs patents. And where we are filing 40 to 50,000 patents in a year. Out of 40 to 50,000 patents, 60 to 70% patents are foreign based. Now we should introspect ourselves why it is like that. We are doing a lot of research. Only awareness of IP is not much. Or maybe our socialistic culture that we should not have the monopoly over any knowledge. But nowadays, the global situation is that to compete with foreign industries, we must go for protection of our IP. So with these things, I open this webinar with RG IIPM. So welcome all of you, and more particularly the very good audience today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now let me introduce you to our keynote speaker, Mr. Padman Buch. Mr. Padman Buch, a B Pharma and an MBA, also holds a PG diploma in patent law from Nalsar University, Hyderabad. He is a senior IPR domain expert and a project and management advisor. He holds about 30 years combined experience of intellectual property rights, corporate industry, and entrepreneurship. In the IPR domain, he is recognized as one of the national experts and is associated with corporates, governments, and academic institutes. As the managing director of GITCO, he established their patent cells as the chief advisor at Gujarat Technological University, GTU. He is credited with creating very active IPR culture in more than 70-degree engineering and 50-degree pharmacy college in Gujarat state. Mr. Padman Buch played a vital role as the key member of the IPR panel for student startups and innovation policy SSIP of Government of Gujarat. Towards this, he is an invited mentor for SSIP at a few reputed institutions. Mr. Padman Buch is on the board of various leading corporates and institutions. He is also awarded the prestigious IP Samaritan of the Year 2018 award by IPPO in August 2018 and GTU Pedagogical Award for contribution in IPR and innovation domains by Gujarat Technological University in year 2013. He is also an invited speaker of national and international conferences and seminars on IPR. He has traveled Japan, China, USA, France, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Thailand, Guyana, South Korea, Taiwan, and all over India. I request Sir to enlighten us with his knowledge.
Thank you for the kind introduction, and good morning to all of you. First and foremost, it's an honor to be part of this important webinar. It's so well conceived, and as you can see, the range of the speakers and the range of the co-organizers. No, it's very unusual, and Dr. Rajesh Bhai always makes unusual usual. You see the kind of speakers and the kind of institutions which are lined up. Of course, the foremost is RJNNIP in Nagpur. We are always very thankful to them. I'm also quite privileged because the speakers, in addition, Dr. Rajesh Bhai said, no, when I was the MD of JITCO, we started this path of trading, unknown path of IPR. Nobody knew about IPR at that time. And we used to go to small places, industrial estates, telling people what is IPR and patent. And we have crossed a long way there. So that is a journey, it's a fulfilling journey. But I would like to specifically mention a few people. Dr. Chabaria sir is here. My alma mater, LM College of Pharmacy. I did my B.Pharm from there. And we can never forget this institute. I continue to be part of the institute, being EDI also I'm closely involved in EDI. Dr. Manish Bhai, when we started working with GTU, he was a professor in GTU, and we did a lot of work in GTU. And Manish Bhai, I must give credit to him also for him. And Srenik Bhai is here. IDMA, all the people in the Gujarat pharma industry are my friend in a way, and we interact closely. So I'm so happy to be part of this, and Dr. Bharat, like to be with you also. So it's a great thing. It also makes me a little bit more conscious because they are all the people. But let me, to two main speakers are going to speak. What I will do is touch upon this thing. IP and pharma is a kind of inseparable twins. No, how can pharma be without IP? And IP is all of pharma. Year back, in January 2005, when India introduced the product patent, I remember myself and Rajesh Bhai, were holding series of seminars at that time to tell people what is going to be there. And at that time, pharma industry realized that, we used to tell them, okay, this is particular for you. When we are transiting from process patent to product patent, pharma industry is one of the most affected. Why? Because what is IP? Intellectual property is a knowledge-based asset. It's an intangible asset which is creating a lot of value in the industry and business. And pharma is a knowledge-based industry. So from the day one, we have been telling people, and I'm happy that pharma industry has taken a lot of over a period of time, that knowledge is what is going to take them further. Now, if you see the balance sheet of some of the companies in USA, particularly, and other countries, in Japan, I have been to Japan, USA, you all have been to Japan. They are IP-based companies. In their balance sheet, you will not see the big amount in terms of the furnitures and buildings and physical assets. What is unseen, what is hidden, what is latent is the intangible asset. Now, this intangible asset, which is intellectual property, which is always giving them the competitive edge over other people. The classic example is the present time, as you see. Whoever thought, we are all know about the pharmacy and the vaccine. Whoever thought that a vaccine can be developed within less than 1 year time? A vaccine takes 5 to 7 years minimum. So far in the history of the world, no vaccine have come before 5 years. And see, the vaccine has already been started to be given last week, and less than 1 year, my dear friend. And there are several candidates in the queue. Now, this is pharma and IP. Pharma also is a very integral part of the healthcare, a silent partner. This has been realized now by the people at large also, that without pharma, healthcare is nothing. Both are the partners to take care of the world. So that is why I believe that IP and pharma is a very apt subject. And of course, pharmacy college is there, my own college, LM College of Pharmacy. That is why we decided to have this theme as a IP and pharma. Now, about a month back, I was on a panel of an international webinar, which was focusing on the various, so it was organized by the CAI Tamil Nadu. And my session where I was a panel discussion was focusing on the IP and trade-related aspects of vaccines. And my co-panelist was Dr. Charles Redoff, Global Head of WIPO. He was speaking from Geneva, Switzerland. And because it was a kind of subject, I had to prepare myself because I cannot let our country down because I was representing India. And I studied a lot. about that. I continue to study a lot about this vaccine and IP and distribution. You know what happens if a patent is given to a particular innovation in pharma? That means that innovation is the monopoly. Now, monopoly is a wrong word. That is the ownership of that inventor. And why not? An inventor needs to be given that ownership. Now, if he is in ownership of that patented formulation, which is important for the people, who will decide how much to be given at what cost? Now, that is the question for vaccine. If AstraZeneca, if Pfizer are given the patent for their vaccine, how the distribution at affordable price will take place of the vaccine? My dear friends, day before yesterday only, there was an international meeting of TRIPS body, trade-related intellectual property right, where WIPO was there, where WHO was there, and there are several organizations were there. This very much question was debated just day before yesterday, where India has said that in this pandemic time, IPR should be suspended for the time being. And India, along with about 70-80 countries, have proposed this, whereas several countries like USA, Canada, and other people have said, no, how it can be? Take care, don't worry. We should be given ownership by way of patent. Why I'm telling you this is that this is always going to be a debate in pharma as far as IP is concerned. But pharma industry cannot look behind. It has to go further. Innovation is the key. As Reddick Bhai and Manish Bhai are going to tell about it. Both are the practitioners of innovation in the pharma and research. But I will just end by saying that as Reddick Bhai also going to tell, I am also on the board of Troika Pharmaceuticals. Okay. Ketan Patel is my friend. Just see the companies like Troika Pharmaceuticals, and then we will realize that why IP is an integral part of the pharmaceutical industry. I think that we have to keep in mind. I will just end by saying that small and medium enterprises in pharma industry should be much more active. There is a huge potential for innovation in a small manner, whether it's a new drug delivery system, whether it's a designing of the even shapes, whatever maybe. It's a huge potential for pharma industry. Innovation can be small, but relevant. I always tell, an innovation should be viable, an innovation should be desirable, and an innovation should be feasible. So relevant to the people, relevant to the industry, relevant to the society. Pharma industry in Gujarat has really come up over a period of time, doing a lot of innovation. I'm sure they will go much further going there. And what is required is, in the world of our Honorable Prime Minister, is that we all have a mind. He always used to say, particularly one of the Chief Minister of Gujarat used to say, we all have a mind. What is required is a change of mindset. That mindset is what we are looking for through such kind of webinars. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. And I'm sure that we are all going to be enlightened by all the three eminent speakers, which we are fortunate to have today. Okay, all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. Our next speaker for the webinar is Dr. N.S. Bharat. Dr. Bharat N. Suryavanshi is the Assistant Controller of Patent and Design in the Indian Patent Office, Mumbai, an MSc in Biotechnology and an MPhil from Gulbarga University, Karnataka. He also earned his PhD from Swami Raman and Marathwada University, Nanded, Maharashtra. He has attended various conferences and has presented papers in various journals or on research topics. Having joined the patent office in July 2003 as examiner of patent and design, he was promoted as assistant controller of patent and design in December 2012, a post he holds till date. He has delivered number of lectures in IPR programs in collaboration with colleges, universities, and companies on different topics. Now, I request Sir to share his knowledge and expertise with us.
Good morning to everyone, and very happy to see you all. As you already IP experts are here. They share their views. Butcher has told about the importance of IP. Now, by knowing IP requirements and Gujarat is having more pharma company, they are filing a lot as we are seeing while doing fire examination because of sirs and experts who are there who are guiding them. But I give brief introduction that how to write their invention and what is patentable in and what kind of inventions come in the field of pharma. In the field of pharma is an emerging. Every product we have to that may be process or product by the IP. That may be your startup is starting the new company. You have to get product of the name, brand, and the product what they are doing. So always before going or coming in the market, you should have a protection with the intellectual property so that no competitor will copy your invention or product or trademark whatever kind of IP you are doing. Sir has told that it is not tangible properties, the only property that car building gives you much, but intangible properties, another kind of form which can earn like anything. It gives more property on royalties and technology transfer. Therefore, let us see what is patentable in the field of pharma. All processes and products which are new, involving invention step and capable of industrial applications are patentable, and it should be not be barred by the section 3 and 4 of the Patent Act, wherein those are the non-patentable sections in the Patent Act 1970 as amended. Product may includes apparatus that may be in the field of pharma, mechanical, devices that may be for surgery, many other machines and chemical products like pharma products. Let us see what invention should be new. First of all, before carry out research, you should know publish it has published in India or elsewhere. We have to check in the prior art search. In prior public knowledge or prior public use within India, we have to check. Claim before in specification in India or not, because there are many grounds even in opposition that prior claiming and all. So before start your invention and consider yourself as a new, you have to search in the prior art and they go for the search and filing. What is inventive stuff which is most important to qualify a patentability so that you can get a patent? Feature of an invention that involves technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge or having economic significance or both that makes invention not obvious to a person in the skill in the art. It means if you are developing any process that will be economic significance, means if you are getting a raw material of less and getting high product, that's good. If you are getting more purity, that is also good. For example, we are having a paracetamol which is known in the market. If you take, it takes 6 to 8 hours to cure, but somebody develops new composition and it gives cure from 2 hours, that is showing therapeutic efficacy of that composition and that fulfill the requirement of inventive step, and you can file the patent application. And how some of the indications to indicate how it is inventive, that your product or a process. It should give something surprising result as we never thought of, or any problem which is long standing. As sir told, since January last year, we are facing the problem of COVID vaccine. If somebody brings solution, that you can file the patent for that. The fulfillment of a long felt need. For example, we don't have any medicine for some disease. If somebody is filing composition or process of that, they can also, and a great technical progress in the field of technology can also be patentable. If one of the requirement is, if you are qualifying the novelty, in step, another requirement is of it should be capable of being made or used in the industry. If once it's qualified, you can get a patent. In the field of pharma, what are the sections which are not patentable? In case of section 3C, many people are working on the medicinal plants and they're isolating the compounds, which are first time they are getting for the medicinal purpose. But as such, isolation of the compound from the medicinal plant is not patentable because it comes under the discovery of the composition. But the same compound you are using in the composition form and filing with the chemical trials, how the composition shows efficacy, then it can be patentable. But as such, discovery is not patentable under section 3C of the Patent Act. If you take another is most important in the field of pharma, that is section 3D. Here it says the mere discovery of a new form of a known substance, which does not result in the enhancement of the known efficacy of that substance, or the mere discovery of any new property or new use of a known substance, or of the mere use of a known process or machine or apparatus, unless such known process result in a new product employs at least one reactor. Means in this section, many of patents are rejected because they claim salts, esters, ethers, isomers, but they never prove the efficacy of that salts of the compound or the base compound. Here, example is a new use of a aspirin for cardiovascular diseases. One of the uses already known, but second medical use as such is a not invention and it is not patented under section 3D. I'll quote one of my own decision here in this to illustrate the 3D because it is most important in the field of pharma. Here, I have given decision in the 3rd September, which is published in many of the papers, that is 7th September to 15, a tofacitinib drug, which is a Pfizer company. Here in this case, I rejected drug because it fails to prove the efficacy or the base compound of the own what the Pfizer company has filed. I'll quote you to know the detail of my invention. The application number is 991 Movement 3, wherein Pfizer has filed a drug and the same he has filed another application in India with the base compound that's got patent, that is IN 24173, wherein Pfizer content that cited, I have made them that is prior claiming, but you have not proven the efficacy or the base compound. So they have gone to IPAB. IP have told that the 3D objection was not raised in the FER. Then they told that we have to again reconsider. But again, in view of section 3D, they failed to prove the efficacy of the claimed compound, tofacitinib, or the base compound, which is filed in India and also got patented. Therefore, being a pharma people, you should always, if you are claiming the compound or a composition, try to give the therapeutic efficacy, showing the examples, that is clinical trials, or you can carry out any of the animals, whatever in the mode, but you are supposed to give the explanation how you are overcoming with the 3D of the Patent Act. Then only Indian Patent Office examiners, those who are very skilled and they're expert and everyone has got trainings in abroad, they are very particular about the novelty and step while and also the section 3D, which is very essential in the pharma company. One of another section is 3, wherein again most of the patents are rejected under section 3. Here, substance obtained by mere admixture resulting only in the aggregation of the properties of the component thereof or a process of producing such substance is not patentable. But for here, if you are just mixture is not patentable, but it shows something synergistic effect, then it can be patentable. Many medicinal composition of the Ayurvedic has been patented if they prove their efficacy with the permission from the NBA. Here is another example is that paracetamol for antipyretic, we know, brufen for analgesics, no. Somebody brings both combination single capsule and they says that we have invented, but no, both the ingredients are known and they are just admixture. He is bringing only in the single capsule. Therefore, such type of mixes are not patentable under section 3 of the Patent Act. Another example which relates to pharma is any process for medicinal, surgical, curative, prophylactic, diagnostic, therapeutic, or other treatment of human being, or any process for a similar treatment of animals to render them free or to increase their economic value is not patentable. Wherein the method of treatment of medicinal, method of treating dental, or method of treating any other vaccination is not known. Wherein if you are doing any device, that is medical device or surgical device, that can be patentable because it is a combination of a software and hardware. For example, X-ray machine. There are many machines which came in the medical biotechnology. Therefore, we are having specialized examiners to examine the medical biotechnology field now as B in medical biotechnology as one of the branch evolved nowadays. When we were the students, we are not having that branch. What type of pharmaceutical inventions are coming in filing in India? That to be office as we are examining the many applications. It may be pharmaceutical product, it may be new chemical entities, formulations or composition, combinations in the form of doses or dose form, new form of a known substance such as salts, esters, polymorph. Many are filing conjugates, pure forms, particle size, isomers. Many are filing, but those who fail to prove their efficacy or overcome the objection of 3D, they can get the patent. But only composition without showing anything else are objected on this. Another example of the different kind is kits. Many are applications are coming in the form of kits, product by process claims, claims for process or method of manufacture of a medicine or some device in the field of pharma. Claims related to a new property or new use of a known substance use claims including second indications of the claimed compounds. Claims are method of treatment and are diagnosis of human beings and animals also getting the patent in the form of India. Claims relate to selection of inventions related to a product and a process. There are many selections inventions are coming in the field of pharma. Many times, many people are claiming Marcus claims, which is generic. It claims and drafted in very large numbers that thousands of million compounds they are claiming in a single compound, which are referred as Marcus claims, wherein the structure they are with a plot of functional, equivalent, and chemical groups is one or more of the part of the compound. The Marcus claims are drafted to obtain wide scope of protection, but others ways inventors or the applicants or the agent are fail to be in give the enablement of the compounds what they are claiming. In Marcus claims, each compound what they are claiming has to be enabled, or they have to be given best examples of the each ingredients what they are claiming. R1 is something they but they don't get enablement. They will say C1 to C1 alkyl group, they don't give the example. So always if you are giving any ingredients, let you claim the number of compounds in a Marcus type of claims, but you are required to give each enablement, if possible, clinical trials and the therapeutic efficacy of that particular compound with the examples. Then it fulfills the requirement of enablement or best method of performing the invention. Therefore, you can get the patent over the 3D. What is patent specification? As we know, patent specification is a techno-legal document describe the technical aspect of the invention in a manner to meet the requirement of Patent Act. As legally, what requirement they put by the Act that has described in techno-legal manner. So before writing your specification, we have to know who is reading your specification. Patent office first we read because they has to give you a grant of the patent, or they may reject. Licensee, if you are licensing once the patent get, or assigning. Court will, if somebody goes for the revocation of patent, or if they are challenged, the court will read your specification. Technical experts will read your expression because they want to know what you have filed, so that they can file in pre-grant and post-grant oppositions. Our competitors who are in the same field will also read your specification, and commercial players who are there in the market of pharma also read your specification, and general public also read after expiry of your patent. Therefore, you should, while writing your specification, you must think who will read this document. So how cleanly, how sufficiently I have to write the patent specification. Let us see what it should contain. While writing the specification, always the inventor must adequately describe the invention. Enablement is the main part because nowadays that is one of the requirement. An examiner raised the objection that the claims are not enablement because you have not given clearly. Again, the inventor must describe the manner, process of making and using the invention. Best method of requirement is the inventor must describe the best mode contemplated by the inventor of carrying out his or invention with the clinical trials, if any, should be given to prove efficacy of the compound or composition. In pharma, mainly compound composition, kits are coming very less. If you are claiming, you don't forget to give the clinical trials of your composition and the compounds to get a patent. As per section 10.4, specification shall fully and particularly describe the invention as we all know, and best method it should be given. But always while drafting, the people forget to give the best mode of publication. By knowing the law, we mentally keep in our mind, but while writing, we forget that. Always keep in mind that for pharma, you should give best method plus clinical trial to get a patent for the pharma industry. Objective of the specification is it is technical disclosure you have to give. Useful what parts is there for us. Again, exclusive right for what you are claiming. Inventor, what claim he has to put. Always think before start your draft. how you have to differentiate between prior art and what you are doing. Are you solving the problem? Are you bringing new some surprising effect? Or first time you are doing something great invention? Then you have to bring all each and stepwise, as I'll show you the content of specification. Here, every specification, whether provisional or complete, should be given clearly. It should be indicating the subject matter in which it relates. Field of the invention is must, first of all. The field of my invention relates to a process of preparation and herbal medicine. The process of preparation and composition comprising so and so ingredient. It's because title field of the invention is one of the criteria to take the keywords to serve the specification or the content which are there in the public domain or not. The control is always that application should be further supplemented if we ask you the model, otherwise model is not at all necessary. Many questions will come from the teaching field, pharma company, university, sir, model is required or not. But it's always no. You should give always the best method with clinical trials, examples, enablement. Then nothing is required to see the model and all. In the case of opposition, that is required if other parties or other opposition party ask something with more proof regarding the inventive step if they are raising the one of the ground as a opposition. Before you start, it should have preamble of this field of the invention. What exactly? The field of the invention relates to kit for diagnosis so and so. The method of vaccination comprising the composition of vaccine so and so. If it is a lotion, it is in form of spray, ocular, what type of spray it is. You have to give in the briefly 3 or 4 lines what exactly invention relates to. It is for the search of the examiner. Background of the invention or prior, what you are studying the background, from that how you are coming to your invention, and advantage over the background. And many people think something I have to do great in the invention or getting the patent, but you are solving any problem which is there near and by you, you can get a patent for that. For example, there is a treatment for the Parkinson disease, allopathic is there already, but somebody comes being a pharma fellow with a herbal treatment which says that one of the objectives that allopathy is having side effect, wherein my pharma product, herbal product is not having side effect, is one of the my advantage over the prior art. And also I am giving you very cheap, and also my composition is a herbal, which is in form of tonic, it's having excipients and vitamin C and so with other experts. Then it may be new because you are solving the problem, you are giving alternate solution to problem. It always not that it should be something great like that. So summary of the invention you are supposed to give, statement what exactly you are doing the invention, detailed description of the invention with the working examples, and finally claims, which are very important parts, drawings if you are carrying with machines, if you are having sequence listing in the field of biotechnology, and even in the pharma, many are going through drug delivery systems that you are supposed to give. And lastly, abstract should be given so that it will be published in the application. Always best mode of the or manner which invention performed should be given, and should be disclosed clearly, precisely the exclusive right of monopoly for which you are requesting. Scope of the invention should be given. Define the various necessary preferred and optional feature of your invention. That means first is a compound with other parameters. Composition, how we are using, or in the form, which form, lotion form, spray form, ocular form, what form. You have to give the preferred feature of your composition to limit, not to extend monopoly being granted. Here, patent inspection always with the description and claims, wherein claims is for the protection for what you are getting. Always every specification must have at least one claim, or more than that also you can claim. Main objective of the claim is to define precisely the exclusive monopoly right, to define the scope of the invention with the essential and preferred features, so that other will not copy your claims and they will not pass your boundary of your invention. Should be fairly based on the matter what you are doing the invention. First claim is called principal claim, and subsequent claims are called subordinate claims. Principal claim should define all the essential feature of the invention with interconnection if it is compound or the composition. Preferred or optional feature may be given in the subordinate claims. So always claim should have introductory page like the composition comprising so and so, the process of preparing an medicine, the process of preparing an kit comprising so and so. So these are the introductory phase of the claims, then comes preamble, transitional phase content comprising, if you're having many, consisting one or two ingredients if you're having in the composition. Body of the claims should give you detail. Then dependent claims should become the process as claimed in claim 1 or the compound as claimed claim. You have to refer and you have to write your claims so that you can protect your even preferred embodiments of your composition or compound. Again, multiple dependent claims you can have, then ominous claim 1 or 2. Here, for example, a process of preparation of a cyclosporine from whatever may be, or the process of preparing a perindoperol. So you can take any example that is a preamble of the claim, which is called a independent claim, wherein other ingredients, the process as claim 1, wherein temperature is so much. The process as claim, wherein pressure and so. The process as claim wherein catalyst user is so. This is the way of writing what required for the specification. And any faculty can write always, because we are writing our thesis. Same way, you will call literature survey as we are writing in prior art form. Result and discussion, what you are doing, that you have to put in the form of complete application. This is a compound example is the compound of Formula 1, wherein ring A is fused to 5 to 7 membered saturated or unsaturated ring, wherein from 0 to 2 of the ring members are hetero atoms selected independently from nitrogen, oxygen, and sulfur, with proviso that 2 addition means can both the heteroatoms. X is oxygen bond, N is an integer, R1 and R2 are selected independently from 6,1 to 6 alkyl. So for this selection in Marcos claims, you are supposed to give an element must. Each example should give. Many are giving thousands of compound you are claiming, but you should give element for such type of claims. This for the another example of Pranbex, a process of preparation of some compound. How he's doing? Is reacting the compound of Formula 1 with 2-hydroxy-4-phenyl butyrate of Formula 3. So how is the reaction? If he's using any process parameter, he can write wherein the pressure is so much, temperature is so much. So this is the way of writing the process claims. Another example is of CIPLA, pharmaceutical composition which comprise azolistine or salt thereof and steroid. The composition be in the form of suitable for what? Nasal or ocular. He's telling the composition is this and what form he is using for. Again, dependent claim he is using this composition as claimed in claim 1 is an aqueous suspension or solution. Again, he is telling in the form of an aerosol, ointment, or drops, nasal drops. Means he is describing in which form his composition can be used. So he is claiming all the feature of the invention so that other will not come in the form of spray, aerosol, because he is claiming all the preferred embodiments of his invention. Means he can do in nasal form, aerosol form, ointment, nasal drops, or nasal spray for inhalation. Composition according to Clement, which is in the form of a insufflation of powder also. Even he is telling not only lotion and spray, it is even in the form of powder. Means he is not allowing others to pass in his invention. Means he is protecting his invention at the almost so that other competitor will not pass or will not do the research on, or he will not enter in his composition. Composition according to claim 1 to 4, wherein the steroid is beclomethasone or an ester thereof. He is telling again main compound or ester thereof, but he has to give the example of this composition, its work or not with the ester of that. What are the ester you are using? Not only main compound, even with the examples are given to the ester with that, even with the pharma. So this is the way how you are writing the claims so that you fulfill the requirement of section 3 and 3D, which is the main in the pharma field. Thousands of scientists and faculty, students can become an inventor by simple research. Many students think that while doing their project in M-Pharma or PG or in PhD, they think that we are not able to do the invention. But it's very simple. While carry out your project, identify some problem, any kind of problem, then solve that problem. You can apply for the patent. While working or carrying out the research, don't forget to take the non-disclosure agreement with your colleagues, lab mates, or professors so that you can secure or keep your safe invention and file it to the patent office. What is the role of intellectual property system? It encourages for the improvement of technology. provide reward as exclusive right for the disclosure as government is giving, making profit, earning royalty through putting the invention into practice. As Butch sir told, not other form, it is a intangible form of property which can earn like anything by putting your invention to practice, transferring into public property after expiry of the patent or term of cessation of your patent. If by knowing your what is pending pharma, don't keep quiet. Share the benefit of patent system, how you are benefited in the field of pharma. Utilize the resource through organized R&D activities. Capture always global market judicially means getting the right to your product, process, or any other brand form and protect your market. Earn profit through the protected market. By these words, I put in words to my talk. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, sir, for this highly informative speech. Our next speaker for this webinar is Dr. Shrenik Shah. Dr. Shrenik Shah is Director of Montage Laboratories Private Limited, Himmatnagar, Gujarat. He is an M.Pharma and a PhD. He is also the Senior Vice Chairman of Indian Drugs Manufacturers Association, IDMA, Gujarat State Board, and the Vice President of Gujarat State Pharmacy Council. He is a nominated member of the All India Board of Pharmaceutical Education under the All Indian Council for Technical Education. He is also the post-chairman of DIA, Drug Information Association, Gujarat chapter. Now, I request Dr. Shrenik to throw light on our subject today.
Yes, thank you, Mary, for the introduction, and good morning, all the panelists and all the participants. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my views on the topic of IP in pharma. As you know, I am representing IDMA, so let me say a few words about IDMA, Indian Drug Manufacturers Association. And I am pleased to inform you that I have been associated with IDMA since last almost 12 years at various positions, and now I am having position of Senior Vice Chairman of Gujarat State Board. IDMA is one of the apex association of pharma manufacturer at India, and having more than 1200 members. And in Gujarat State Board is one of the richest state board in India with the highest number of members. That is, we have crossed almost 320 members in Gujarat. IDMA is playing a very useful and constructive role as the voice of the national sector of the pharma industry, apart from serving as a channel of communication between the government and the industry. IDMA has been actively assisting the government and the industry in promoting GMP, quality standards, R&D, pharmacopoeia, standardization, documentation of herbal medicines, exports, and IPRs, etc. IDMA is publishing the two most important publications, that is IDMA Bulletin, which is giving all updates about the government notifications and what activity is going on in the IDMA. One more is Indian Drugs, which is about research publications of various institutes or various scientists. IDMA Annual Sourcing Guide, Herbal Pharmacopoeia, etc. is also published by IDMA and have been acknowledged as a reliable source of the information by the industry. IDMA has also encouraged R&D by publishing papers and giving awards. Every year, IDMA is giving awards to the selected best papers or best research work. And IDMA has been in the forefront in creating public awareness about the adverse impact of strong product patent regime of Paris Convention and TRIPS. IDMA continues to canvass and strive for the balanced patent systems, fair to the inventors and fair to the consumer and other manufacturers. So IDMA is also playing vital role as far as intellectual property right is concerned. And we have a separate subcommittee for IPR at IDMA central body. So they are guiding to the manufacturer or to the scientist about the various intellectual property right questions or the problems. So as Padmin Bhai has rightly said that IP and innovation are very much correlating. So let me come to the topic, and I will connect innovation with the IP and innovation in the pharma with the intellectual properties. One philosopher has said that if you keep on doing the same thing, the result will remain same. So if you keep on doing the same thing, you will receive the same thing. So if you want to have something new, you have to do something new. So for the progress in the pharma industry, we have to keep on doing something new, and that is resulting in innovation. And we know that pharma industries are very much into innovations now, and it is need of the time. And uh, as the time is progressing in 19, if we see the era of 1900 to 1950, pharma industry was focusing on natural products and its derivatives, that is penicillin and sulfonamides and products like aspirin. In 1950 to 1960, there were products on serendipity, that is psychotropic substances. 70 to 80, it came to, sorry, 60 to 70, it came to receptor based research, that is NSAIDs. 70 to 80, the market shifted, the innovation shifted to enzyme based product, that is H2 antagonist beta blockers. 80 to 90, genetic engineering came into picture, and people started lipid lowerers, that is ACE inhibitors invention. 90 to 2000, cell pharmacology or molecular biology and biotech drugs came into picture. 2020, genomics, proteomics, chronic degenerative disease associated with aging, inflammation, cancer was in focus for the, is in focus in for the innovation. And if we talk about 2020 to 2040, drugs against targets identify from disease genes. So time to time, the topics or the field of research is changing as per the need of the time. A future will be there where, you know, India and some other countries are very well known for antimicrobial resistance development, and that antimicrobial resistant development is giving a wide opportunity for the innovation in the field of development of the new antimicrobials or antibiotics, because there are very few drugs left which is also getting resistance to microorganisms. Innovation is the idea which must be replicable at the economic cost and must satisfy specific need. Innovation involves application of information, imagination, and initiative in deriving greater or different value of resources. It includes all processes by which new idea generates and converted into useful products. When any person, company is doing some innovation, they are spending huge amount of money, huge amount of time, infrastructure, manpower, and that is why they need protection. They need protection against use of their idea, imagination, or innovation, and that is where the intellectual property rights come into picture. So innovation is costly and risky too, and IPR helps in protecting them. The first in the market is the first to market is generally quickly followed by several others. If we talk about India, we are expert in reverse engineering. So if someone is coming with some innovation in the market, within couple of months, same product with the will come into the market, and that is what is creating problem to the first marketer. He or she or the organization will not be able to enjoy the monopoly, or he will not be able to take the benefit of his innovation. So first mover is rarely the most successful because of this issue, and the period of exclusivity for the first mover is shrinking nowadays, and pharma are becoming more conservative. As Dr. Rajesh Acharya said that we are not aware about the IP in pharma, and that is why we are not filing patents or other, we are not taking advantage of the intellectual property rights. And we are also conservative at the same time, and that is why people are not approaching that. Innovation is the most important to any of the company, whether it is a small or big company, for the growth or to stand apart from others. If we take some examples, then one and only research molecule innovated by any of the Indian company is, you know, that it is a seroglitazide drug by Zydus with the brand name of Lipaglyn. It is already in market now for the hypertriglyceridemia and diabetic dyslipidemia. This is a research molecule of one of the Indian companies, Zydus. And I have heard first, I mean, after so many years, though India is very ahead in pharma, this is the only one molecule which is research molecule of an Indian company. Just think about this, how many years, how many amount of money, manpower, infrastructure used to develop this molecule. And if within couple of months someone is coming up with the same molecule, how it will be protected by how it will be protected, where intellectual property rights is coming in between. So some good innovative formulations are also developed and marketed globally by one of the Ahmedabad based company known as Troika Pharmaceuticals. They have their slogan or the tagline of the company itself is imagine, innovate. So they have really developed very good formulation, and they are having the formulation which are really innovated by themselves and having something different than the other formulations which are existing in the market. For example, diclofenac sodium injection, traditionally it was available in 3 ml ampule, and Troika introduced Dynapar AQ, which is containing same amount of the drug, but it is only in 1 ml. And now it is a global patent. So such kind of formulations like Dynapar AQ, Dynapar QPS, which is an external application. Then Neso B12 is a methyl cobalamin nasal spray. These are some of the examples which are invented by them, which are there in the market by Troika, and they are enjoying the benefit of intellectual property. So what I mean to say is their innovation has been honored because of the intellectual property, in intellectual property rights. Otherwise, if someone comes into market with the same kind of formulation, they will not be able to enjoy that period. Pfizer was estimated to lose $13 billion of its income when Lipitor patent expired in 2011. Lipitor was one of the famous brand in the world, and it was invented by Pfizer. And when the patent was about to expire in 2011, it was estimated that they will lose business of 13 billion US dollars just because of the one product. Because of this one product, patent was getting expired. Now we just imagine that when it was with them, the patent was with them, how much money they made from this product, because it is their innovation and they were getting protection because of intellectual property right. Same way, Eli Lilly was estimated to lose 75% of its revenue over the period of 8 years, as many patents were expiring during this 8-period time. However, this Eli Lilly then introduced some other products and they compensated it, but 75% revenue loss because of losing patents, time was expiring. So that was a huge amount which was estimated. You may be aware that there is a drug called as dydrogesterone, which is patented by Abbott, and it is marketed, the formulation is marketed as in the brand name of Dufastone. Dufastone, what I have heard, I am not sure, but what I have heard about that, this particular API dydrogesterone is patented by Abbott Pharma in different 100 synthetic ways. So if anybody is trying to develop that particular molecule or synthesis, then they will be caught. So whatever is coming to their mind, they have patented. And they are enjoying monopoly throughout the world for this particular product or this particular API as well as the tablets. Patent is good for the company, but for patient it is kind of a disadvantage as the cost of the drug is higher because the companies are marketing it as a at the higher price. Of course, they will because they want to recover the expenses they have made for that. There was a conflict as far as IPR is concerned for one of the anti-cancer drug, which was patented by Roche Pharma, and the drug was erlotinib with the brand name of Tarceva, which was marketed at the cost of 1.4 lakhs per month. And Cipla came with the generic version in India at 25,000 per month. And the litigation was there in Supreme Court, and Supreme Court of India has uh, allowed Cipla to market this product on humanity background to reduce the cost of. As far as IPR is concerned, that is WTO is concerned, it is not applicable to the least developed countries. There are 46 countries in the list of least developed countries where WTO is not applicable. Countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, and many other Asian and African countries are part of this list, and they can manufacture the product which are even patented, and that is why they are these least developed countries are taking advantage of having so many pharmaceutical companies nowadays with them, and they can make the patented drug also and can be marketed worldwide. And that is resulting in disadvantage to India because so many companies have moved to these LDCs, least developed countries, for their and they have developed their pharmaceutical plants over there. The pharma world is moving faster, and with ancillary industries like Nutra and cosmetics, now the time is the companies and the people are moving from illness to wellness. So these illness to wellness, that means the drugs are not only the drugs are important, but people are now focusing on Nutra as well as cosmetics. And at that level also there is a lot of innovations, and that is also coming up into the patent and trademarks, etc. So people that particular ancillary industry is also focusing on this type of the things. For as far as apart from patent, trademark, if we talk about trademark is also very important for the companies which is having brand value, especially those who are into ethical promotion into the market. So their brand, their company is known by their brand, or the drug is known by the brand. Doctors are prescribing the drug with the brand. So that trademark of the brand is also very important, and that is also IPR, intellectual property of the company. If we talk if I'm using a phrase, English phrase, then innovation is mother of necessity. Corona vaccine has been talked about, Dr. Padmin Bhai as well as Dr. N.S. Bharat. But the same thing is Corona vaccine, now entire world is behind it, and we know that there are so many companies working on it. And because of this necessity, all the inventors, all the scientists of these, all so many companies are behind it. And within a year, we are talking to have get ready the Corona vaccine, which actually would have taken many years, 6 to 7 years or 8 years to develop a vaccine. So without worrying about the anything else, all the companies are ready to serve to the nation or to the world against this pandemic by developing Corona vaccines. And then they will also have intellectual property rights on it. So there are so much research going on at academic level as a MPharm project or a PhD project, but the problem with that is those research work remains on the paper because it is not practically possible to commercialize many research work. And even they are patented, but the patents remain on paper, and commercialization becomes difficult because of one or other problems. So if these researchers think about that it can be commercialized, industrialized, then it will be very helpful to the general public, as well as they can also enjoy the benefit of these intellectual property rights. So in short, if innovation is there, then it can be protected by intellectual property rights. and the scientists or the innovators can enjoy the benefit of uh, having this, and they can have good monopoly market, and they can enjoy this intellectual property in pharmaceuticals. So that is what from my side, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for this enlightening speech. Our next speaker for the webinar is Dr. Manish Raj. Dr. Manish Raj is the Director R&D and CEO of Acuprec Research Labs Private Limited. Earlier, he was the Associate Professor at Center of Pharmaceutical Studies, Gujarat Technological University, Ahmedabad, and PHARMA and PhD with specialization in pharmacology from LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad, and a law graduate. He is also a registered patent agent with Patent Office of India. He has a total of 17 years teaching and research experience. His research work has been accepted by various reputed national and international publications. He has presented 22 research papers in national and international conferences. He has conducted 85 workshops on basic to advanced level of IPR and patenting in pharmaceuticals as well as engineering. In this process, he became catalyst for training of nearly 6,000 plus faculty members and 3,000 plus students of GTU in the field of patent and IPR. He is member of various pharmaceutical and management associations, including American Council of Clinical Pharmacists, ACCP. So far, he has guided 13 million pharma students and 2 PhD students in their research work. Now, I would request Sir to honor us with his knowledge and experience.
Thank you, Mary, for this introduction. So at the outset, as I am the last speaker, so everybody is eager to go to their respective work. But of course, I will try to give emphasis on certain important aspects for which we gathered on this e-platform. So of course, as Padmi sir has said, Dr. Rajesh sir is always doing uncommon and making it the common thing. So even on these Saturdays, and many people from industry and academia has joined this particular important webinar. So that itself indicates the importance and interest in this particular topic. Of course, at outset, Dr. Bharat sir and Dr. My dear friend Dr. Sainik Bhai has mentioned various facets and relevance of IPR in pharma industries, and how the even patent office itself is taking a proactive step. That also very important in this current situation. If we can talk about 5 years, 10 years before, it was a different scenario. But now, government itself is taking very proactive step and encouraging steps, so that the innovators, whether he's sitting in like metro cities or micro cities, the knowledge should reach to that particular individual, and the resources and the kind of, you can say, the hand holding is also now provided by the patent office itself, and with help of like IP facilitators, which patent office has announced, various registered patent agents across the India. I think more than 2,000 registered patent agents are now the IP facilitators who can support small and medium scale pharma industries as well as the individual inventors also, so that they don't have to go to the metros to get help, but at their local level also now they get a very good support. So with this preamble, let me start my topic. So basically in R&D, how the IPR plays a role, I'll just try to emphasize on that. So basically, I put forward this question to all these August gatherings who participate in this particular forum. So this is the equation which we need to solve at the end of this my 15-20 minute session. So equation is this: 3I plus 3P is equal to 3M. So it is not some equation which is available in any standard book, but there is something uniquely I coined. So let's understand a few important aspects, and then automatically this equation will get solved. So being in pharma, being in industry, you always focus on, say, what exactly we are going to get at the end of my research. So of course, everybody either doing research in academia or maybe in the industry, the ultimate goal is to gain more amount of, you can say, quantum of revenue or money. So ultimate goal is that, but to reach to that goal, there are these equations that we have to understand, we have to follow. So as a part of research, what basically we have to understand. So again, there is a question. Research is linked with the WWH. So let's understand what is this WWH. The first W belongs to what is research. So many of the participants are masters or PhD in their respective domain. But of course, everybody have their own definition of the research to invent something new thing. But if you can see this classical definition at Oxford Dictionary, so research is nothing but a systemic investigation into the study of materials and sources in order to establish the fact and to reach a new conclusion. That means we are starting with certain hypotheses, we do certain experiments, and after doing some experiments, we come to the conclusion that yes, the hypothesis is achieved, and yes, your invention solve certain problems, which may be A, B, C, any problem, depending upon your hypothesis. So that is what the research is. And there are many other ways the research can be coined. Second question, why to do research? Everybody has their own objectives. If I'm an academician, I have certain objectives to get my promotion from my associate to professor, or maybe the professors to the dean. Likewise, that if I'm an industrialist, of course, I would like to gain a more market share from my research, and of course, to get certain exclusivity of my research. If I'm a student, of course, I would like to get a good quality research so that I can get a good publication in more impact factor journals. So each stakeholders have their own objectives for the research. But if I can summarize this particular objectives in a simple form, and this is the nothing but an equation form, which we have put it on the first slide. Now you can see the 3M. So the objective of research may be anything, depending upon your field of work, depending upon your scope of work, depending upon where you are working, depending upon are you entrepreneur or startup or maybe industrial is likewise that. But ultimately, it can be summarized in this 3M principle. So first M belongs to moral rights. Of course, you want a public and particularly the scientific fraternity should recognize your research. So that is nothing but a moral right you would like to enjoy from your research. Second thing, of course, you want nobody should copy it immediately without your permission. So that is what meaning of monopoly rights or exclusive rights. And third, very important rights that everybody would like to enjoy, whether you can confess it or not, it is a monetary rights. So these are the basically 3M which anybody who is participating in this audience would like to get from their respective research. I hope everybody is agree with me on this particular 3M principle. Now, of course, everybody wants this 3M, but 3M is not easy to get. For that, we have to understand how to do a research. And this is the, again, you can say another clue of our equation. To get a 3M, we have to follow the appropriate research methodology and which should follow the principle of 3I. So first I is innovativeness, also novelty. I think Dr. Bharat sir has very well explained the novelty of your research. Second is the inventive step, or it's a non-obviousness. And of course, the very important one is the industrial applicability of your research work. So if your invention or a research problem fulfill all these three I principles, it is very likely that you will likely to get a patent from the Patent Office of India, as well as any patent office of the world wherein you would like to start production of your work. And once you have these three I, of course, there is a chance that you can likely get the 3M. And to do so, how to leverage the IP? Because you have a good research topic and you found out your invention fulfill the criteria of 3I. And if you just do the invention, just do the research, and if you are not able to leverage it, again, you cannot able to get a 3M. So now to leverage it, you have to follow the principle of 3P. So first P belongs to patent. Many times in academia, we are behind to publish our research work as immediately, and sometimes the universities also mandating that at PhD level, you should have 2 research papers at international journal. There is no wrong in that. But of course, if your invention is something good enough, which I think Dr. Bharat has also mentioned, it don't require a rocket science. It should not be totally something completely new. But at least if you have some incremental innovation also in an existing prior art, then also that incremental invention also can get a patent protection. So there is no way that totally new technology required to be developed by you. Only incremental invention which solve the certain problem, of course, which is faced by the society or faced by the public. And if you can able to address it by your invention, you are likely to get a patent. So always try to figure it out about your invention, whether it fulfill the criteria of 3I. If yes, first file a patent. Of course, as I said, nowadays, a lot of kind of, you can say the resources are available at your doorstep, I can say, through which you can leverage and file your patent. You can take help of, in Gujarat, as everybody is knowing, there is a platform of SSIP, which provides a lot of platform and you can say even a financial support. Even like Gujarat industrial ministries also promoting industries also to file their domestic patent as well as the international patents. They are giving handsome amount, almost as 75% of the expenditures done by any industries get refunded by the ministry. So this is something which maximally government can able to do. So only the thing now we have to take an advantage of these government initiatives. And of course, once you go for a patent, then you can think about publications, and of course, prosperity will automatically come. If you file a patent and if you can show in your CV or maybe in your like company profile, yes, you have so many patents lined with you, of course, it will increase the valuation like anything. Or if you are in academia, then valuation of that academia will increase like anything. Because nowadays, this national ranking framework of the AICTE as well as MHRD is also emphasizing more on this, how many patents any institute is filing per year. And according to that, they are giving the national ranking. And even if you can say about the international ranking done by the TS or any other good international agencies, of course, the many, you can say the points and credits given to the number of patents filed with the respective academic institute or a university. So far we have understood about 3I, we have understood about the 3M as well as the 3P. So if, as a country, if we can have a questions where we stand globally in terms of innovation, because 21st century is nothing but an era of innovation. And each and every country in this current pandemic situation trying to do their best. Even China is more progressing in terms of patent filing since last 1 year only. Means they are taking up these challenges in terms of opportunity where world is fighting against this pandemic to protect their human lives. But even Chinese researchers have not stopped doing innovation and filing their patents. So let's see briefly about this, where as a country we are standing and how we can move further. This is nothing but you can say the global ranking framework, which is published by the GII. There's a Global Innovation Index. These are the top 10 countries of the 13, 14, 15, 16, and like onwards. You can see the Switzerland is topmost. This particular organization, GII, is evaluating 84 different parameters of any country. So it is a country-wise ranking. So 84 parameters of each country, this GI is evaluating each year. Along with there's a Cornell University of USA, and from India, CII, the Confederation of Indian Industry, is also helping apart from the WIPO, who is basically holding this forum at GI at Geneva, Switzerland. Now coming back to directly to our country, where we are as India in this global ranking. You can see our ranking from year 2010 to 2015. So in 2010, we were on the 56th. Then in 11, we progressed to 62nd, then 64th, 66th, 76th, 81st, and century was nearby. So, but anyhow, as you know, in 2015, May 26th, our Honorable CM of Gujarat became the Honorable PM of India. Immediately, he has appointed a think tank of IPR at national level, and various initiatives started on the same year in 2015, because our Honorable PM knows, okay, boss, in 21st century, if we can simply make India as a manufacturing hub, we cannot able to compete countries like China, because China has already proven its strength before 15 years than India. So only the thing, because we have a good knowledge, we have good skill, we have good kind of, you can say, the analytical and reasoning power. If we can channelize it appropriately, then of course India can do a wonder. So in the same year, in the December 2015, the first time the draft IPR policy has been published. I think many of you might be aware about that. And then in 2016, the policies become implemented also. And that's why you can see in the 2016, the rank from 81st to, again, you can say in a positive note, it goes to the 66th. Each year, government is taking various initiatives in terms of say, startup policies, stand-up policies, like Make in India campaign, then this IP facilitators program launched by the Patent Office of India. So a lot of things has been done. So you can see the positive changes in that. So from 66, we progressed to 60th, then 57th, then 52nd, and then 19. And this year, even in this current pandemic situation, it is good to note that we progress from 52nd to 48th position on this September 11, 2020. So that means government has given various kind of, you can say, the platforms and support services across the country, so that you might be sitting in a metro cities like Mumbai or Ahmedabad, or maybe in middle town cities like Rajkot, or maybe like Pune, or maybe like any other small cities also. You get a support from the various government agencies at your doorstep. And if we can now leverage it, of course, there is a very good sign that we can see our country at least in next 5 years in top 20 in the world. Now, after seeing the global scenario of innovation, of course, it is encouraging, but of course, we must have to work hard for that collectively. Now, if we can ask the question, what is the value of patent? I think Shrenik Bhai has mentioned various examples of pharmaceutical product, where it is a Lipitor or maybe a Sutent. The cost of the patent is always like in terms of billions dollars if having a certain values. And of course, companies like this gentleman, if we can ask him, sir, what is the value of patent? You can always say, Dr. Manish, it may be value of $1 billion to zero. Because each patent may not be having a value sometimes in terms of tangible thing. But of course, if out of say 10 patents, if one patent get clicked by any company or any research organization, it can earn maybe millions and billions of dollars for that particular organization or maybe company. just in a current scenario, if you can see the, because a lot of companies are trying to develop a COVID vaccine, whosoever will reach first, of course, they have a very big market. So Pfizer is very ahead. I think everybody is knowing that their trials is already verged to of completion and 90% success rate they have achieved in this clinical trial phase 3. Already they have started in the European Union the distribution of this vaccine. And if you can see this particular headline, the Pfizer criticized for not giving up the COVID vaccine patent, EU to pay 15.15 pound per dose. This is only the royalty. Please understand. The value of vaccine is, of course, more than this, but only 15.15 pound, approximately, if you can consider in our Indian rupees, 1300 rupees only for royalty per dose. So now tomorrow, suppose our Indian government would like to purchase, we have a population of 130 crores, multiply only 1300 they will charge as a royalty, plus their actual cost may be say 3000 rupees. So you can imagine how much value they can able to get and leverage from their patented technology of vaccine. Of course, they are criticized by the many countries, including India, because very recently, as Padmin Busra said, there was a forum between the WTO and WIPO about the easy access of the vaccines across the world. India and South Africa is the front leaders to project that COVID vaccines should be away from this patent restriction, at least till the pandemic is lying across the world. And of course, the Indian companies are also doing marvelous work in terms of progress of vaccine development. So let's hope we may not require a vaccine which is developed by the Pfizer and they would like to charge very hefty amount in terms of royalty only. Apart from vaccine, of course, there are certain Indian manufacturers who try to do something out of the box and of course against the stream. So again, the Hyderabad-based Natco Pharma, they would like to manufacture the Eli Lilly's product that is known as a bericitinib, which is actually initially approved for the rheumatoid arthritis. But now in 20th November 2020, Eli Lilly got the permission from the US FDA to use this product against the COVID-19 moderate patients. So just like remdesivir, now this particular bericitinib is officially approved by the US FDA to be used in the COVID positive patient, and that's why Natco is planning to apply for the compulsory licensing to our like Indian government to manufacture these medicines and to make it available to our Indian country. So this is very latest news. So let's hope that the government may also take some appropriate steps to issue the compulsory license in this case also. Of course, being our Indian researchers, we always try to make challenges to opportunities. In this particular interesting article, it listed out almost 38 different innovations, which starts from umbrella to helmets to fight against the COVID-19. And Indian researchers have already filed patents for all these their various innovations. So one of the interesting research was done by one of the individuals who developed an umbrella. Of course, it is like just like a conventional umbrella, but he claimed that, okay, boss, I have applied certain, you can say the anti-bacterial coating on my umbrella, the black color umbrella, and then he has used certain coatings. That, of course, it will helpful to keep a social distances also when somebody is using his umbrella. And of course, as it having a certain antimicrobial coating, it will protect that particular individuals from nearby infections also. Similar way, many people have worked on like a helmet and various other interesting inventions across the country. And various like student groups have also worked very nicely to fight against this COVID-19. And I think GTU and other universities have also developed provide a platform to make an hackathon kind of the events during this pandemic situation, which is also the appreciable task. Very interesting, but just in a lighter mood. In Gujarat also, being Gujarati, we will always try to find out some challenges and to make it opportunity in a very faster way. So somebody from Surat, he has developed this aerobic respirator and 95 mask, and he claimed that this particular mask is, you can say, giving a protection against all kind of, you can say, bacteria, virus, and including the COVID-19 virus, like anything, because it's having a like turmeric in this particular mask. So it is a turmeric coated mask, and the price is, it is of course affordable. Only you can see the 50 rupees. Being Gujarati, always we know how to earn the money out of our invention. So this gentleman has across the country has launched his turmeric coated mask, and I don't know about his patent application, but yes, he has claimed anything in his like this particular, you can say, the leaflet which he has published and available in the local market also. Okay, so now to conclude, we can say that the innovation is nothing but a journey from mind to market and concept to commercializations. And of course, if we follow the principle of 3I as well as the principle of 3P, of course, nobody can able to stop you to get the 3M. So from where we have started our discussion and talk. Of course, I can say that IPR can act as a catalyst to convert research to revenue from Mother Saraswati to Mother Lakshmi. These are the team. And be safe, be protected from this COVID-19. And these words I would like to conclude my talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now thank you very much. Now the platform is open for question and answers. You can write your question in the question and answer and chat box. There's one question from Galaxy A20. We are researching for youth how to create the mindset for intellectual property in every sector of research by doing ground research and develop the product and service for pharma sector or other sectors also. So, Dr. Manish Raj, will you like to answer to this question?
Yeah. So basically, the answer to this question is the informations about, I think, IPR and patents should reach to all the stakeholders. So today, in a very brief webinars, we try to just give you the glimpse of various facets of IPR and in particular patent. But suppose, I think, looking at the question, that gentleman may be from some academia. So if you would like to emphasize to make aware about your faculties and students on various facets of IPR in pharma domain, try to arrange 1 or 2 days program. I think Dr. Rajesh Bhai, Padmin Bhush sir, and of course Dr. Bharat sir from NIPPM, they will support such kind of, you can say, the request from any of the stakeholders from academia or maybe industry forum also. Because that is the way how we can able to sensitize our people. Like I can tell you about our, you can say, the examples of a GTU when I was in GTU, and I think Padmit Bhushwar is with me from the day one. When we have not started awareness about the IPR, I was talking about the first IPR seminar we organized in August 2011. Before that also many MPharm and PhDs were coming out from the universities, and many like masters and PhD from engineering also coming out by doing a lot of good research work. But the kind of awareness, the kind of, you can say, the platforms was not available how to go about the patent and how to take the advantage of this 3M. Because if China is taking advantage of a lot of things, and you might be surprised that China is #1 in current situation in terms of patent filing. They are ahead of even than the US in terms of patent filing. Out of 8 lakh patents filed by the China, 6 lakhs patents filed by Chinese researchers only, out of which 3 lakh patents by the Chinese academia only, and 3 lakhs by the Chinese, you can say, the industry. And same if we can talk about in India, out of say 50,000 patents filed per year approximately, hardly 10,000 patents filed by the Indian researchers, even today. Now these figures are increasing. Like latest figure which I got in the yesterday only, 53,800 patents filed till date, till yesterday, which was there 48,000 before 2 years. So now we are progressing slowly, but this is possible only by providing the, you can say, awareness, informations, sometimes in a vernacular language also, because that also some kind of, you can say, we found the challenges. Okay? If we can only communicate in English, but sometimes, say for instance, we are in Gujarat, we communicate with our stakeholders in Gujarati or maybe in Hindi, in the national level language. Provide ample of, you can say, informations. There are support system ready from universities like GTU or organizations like Mark Patent or like government organizations like NIIPPM or SSIP. So take, of course, the advantage of all this forum, organize certain focused program so that stakeholders get enough information and whatever their queries are there, they get solved. So that is only I would like to suggest to you.
One point I want to add, we are having free training also. Those who are from academia, they can request on the letterhead to the free training.
All right, there is another question. Question from Praful Bharadia. What challenges are seen in patenting of health applications? So I would request Dr. Rajesh Acharya to answer to this question.
I would like to, if the person who is asking the question, if you ask in detail, then I think it will be better. What does he mean by health application? The person who is asking the question, I would like to know what does he mean by health application, patenting of health application.
Android apps for health. Mr. Praful Bharadia is asking for Android applications for health.
Okay, so it generally doesn't come under the purview of the patent, but it is a matter of the copyright. So you should file the copyright application because such type of application, it is covered under the copyright law. It is software basically.
Okay. Thank you. So there's another question from Priyank Dubey. Priyank Dubey asks that can we apply for patent on the basis of bioinformatics study like pharmaconetworking? I would request Dr. Shrenik Shah to answer to this question.
I'm sorry, I was not here. So can you please repeat the question?
Yes. So the question is from Priyanka Dubey. She is asking that can we apply for patent on the basis of bioinformatics study like pharmaconetworking?
I am not expert, so I request Padmin Bhai to take this. Yes. You are mute, sir. You are muted. Padmin Bhai. Padmin Bhai, you are.
Padmin Bhai, on your microphone.
Sir, Mr. Padmin.
Yeah, Rajesh Bhai, I think this particular question can be answered by either yourself or Dr. Manish Bhai, either of the thing, and Dr. Bharat can add to it.
Yep. I think Dr. Bharat is the right person for that.
Because it is bioinformatics.
Okay, Dr. Bharat, I would like to. I would request you to answer to this question.
Unmute, please.
Dr. N.S. Bharat, can you please unmute your
microphone?
Yes, microphone.
Okay. Meanwhile, let me just give my thought in this particular questions. So on the basis of say bioinformatics, if you have developed a certain, you can say sequences, and that particular genome sequences you found to be useful in certain, you can say, ailments, particular against the disease, and you have to show certain docking studies using which your particular this particular genome sequence is useful against the certain kind of, you can say, the as I said, the disease condition. So how it will helpful in terms of elimination of that particular disease condition. If you can prove doing certain in silico studies, which I think the question is, so only the development is not sufficient. You must have to prove, you can say, the just like a drug receptor correlation. You must have to prove your genome sequence with certain receptors wherein it is going to bind either on a genome and how it is correlated in terms of certain disease condition. If you can able to even prove in silico, there is no requirement, as far as I understand, to prove it practically. And using the now sophisticated various tools and softwares available online, you can effectively prove the correlation, how much correlation is there in terms of, you can say, your various genomes versus your targeted receptors or targeted genes.
I want to add because I'm unable to mute at that time. Okay, unmute myself. In bioinformatics, if you are filing the invention related to drug delivery system with respect to genome and directly targeting that type of, if it comes directly drug delivery system like with the genome, that can be. But as such, if you are finding sequence which are not novel, that is not patentable. Here, the genome from where and which type of gene you are isolating, that's to be novel, because as such, isolation of gene is a mere discovery. The application that what by using recombinant DNA technology you're transferring, and what set exactly, what is your, by doing that system, WL system, what solution you're bringing out, that all details should be there in. Then we can see, depend upon the enablement, if gene is novel, first time he is doing, and what actually drug system he is curing the disease. Depend upon that, we'll know the bioinformatics system analysis of the applications which are filed in the patent field. Mainly, many people assess drug system with particular gene. If gene is new, definitely we'll give patent for that. If gene just isolating from plants or animals and just reinserting other, it will not, because depend upon the type of application, how is invented and drafted that application. Many times the method of discovery was there, but he is identifying the method of isolation is claiming, then we'll go. Same way, genome also, the way of drafting plays very important role, because which genome you are selecting and how you are inserting in the form of drug to cure a particular disease, because now many gene therapies are coming. But as a gene therapy, we are not giving patent because we are objective under section 3 of the Patent Act. Any other questions?
All right, there is another question for Dr. Manish Raj. This question is from Professor Sailesh Dave. When natural soil or water samples are collected and mixed to develop consortia and modified for specific property, is it necessary to take certificate of biodiversity board? Organisms or the consortia have distinct property due to modification and adaptations.
Yeah, I think anything which is available from the natural sources, now it is very clear that I think Dr. Bharaskar will add in that.
I'll add.
Yeah, he will add in that. Okay, anything available from the natural sources, now during the application itself, there is a disclaimer available from the Patent Office website when you file your patent applications. If it is available from natural sources, of course, you must have to first out the prior permission of the Biodiversity Board. So without that, you cannot able to file. Of course, though you are combining two natural sources and you are adding your, you can say, inventive steps to make it differently. So that is a subject matter of patent or not, it is a different question. But as you are utilizing certain natural resources, it is a prima facie required that you must have to shout the, you can say, NOC kind of thing from the Biodiversity Board. And now I hand over to Dr. Bharat sir.
Yeah, always assess discovery. I told you, if it is microorganism, isolated from soil or somewhere else, to modification of something else is not. But genetically, for modifying organisms by human intervention, by doing some genetic modification, practical inventor should involve in the recommendation to modify the microorganism. That modification as such is patentable. For example, eye-eating bacteria, that is genetically modified. Therefore, that is. But as such, naturally occurring, nothing. And if you are using microorganisms and improving the soil fertility, that is also not, because this comes under the method of horticulture. Then we directly say, 3H, we will not give this patent. So, with relating to soil, any of improvement soil by using microorganisms or growing of any algae, mushroom, something, whatever you do agriculture, we are not giving patent for that. But usually, if you want to claim your microorganisms, first you have to deposit in the depository authority, and you can carry out, let it change the features or may not. But first work is to deposit in the deposit, like many other in NCBL is there, when MTC Chandigarh is there. So you can deposit your microorganisms, carry research. If you are doing genetically modification, definitely go for the patentability.
According to me, when it is not a natural resource or anything question, but when anything biological material is being used, then we should apply to biodiversity board.
I think I agree with that. The soil and water might not require the NOC from National Biodiversity Authority, NBA. But if in separate side, one can always apply, for it may take time. Otherwise, also the Act says that you may not apply beforehand, but before granting of the patent, that clearance has to be made available. So that is also the provision. But soil and water might not be really fitting into this kind of clearance category. That needs to be.
Sir, only plants material if you are taking, then
exactly, yeah.
Required. Soil and other things are not required as such.
True, yeah, exactly.
Paper size, government has not given always clear guidelines. So what examiner does, if sees biological material locally available, they put the objection that NBA permission required.
Okay.
NBA permission for local, many plants are locally available. It is not required for that, because in your area, sugarcane is available, tuar is available, everything is locally available. Why we should get NBA permission? Okay. If something not there, plants which is not available are endangered species, that is required. But even in government side, no clear guidance. So what we will do, we'll raise the objection. NBA permission is required for this to be on safer side. So this should not be there. Clear guidelines should be there. Our manual should come, so that how somebody has to examine the biological related inventions.
All right, thank you, sir. There is another question. How risky is it to jeopardize losing a research gap by revealing it on media communication like this one? This question I would request Dr. Padmin Butch to answer to this question.
Yeah, actually, I saw the question. It was a bit interesting, although I was not able to understand exactly what is being asked. But I would put in general that I always say, and other people also say, there are always do's and don'ts of patent and IPR. When we do a research and before filing a patent, we have to be extremely careful not to discuss whatever we are doing beyond a group which we are working with. It is the fundamental tip, I would say. One may feel bad about it, but that is a fact. Now, when I was handling GITCO patent cell years back, I used to tell people, okay, no, don't tell me anything more. Now go to the attorney Rajesh Bhai, tell him everything. I don't want to hear anything, because there is always a chance of being leakage. So the fundamental rule is that before you file a patent, don't disclose anywhere. Forget about the media like this. Don't disclose anything. Don't discuss with any people. And that is why there is a provision of provisional patent. This provisional patent is an excellent tool to see that even if you have done some preliminary research only, file a provisional patent, get that provisional patent registration. Now you've got 1 year time to file the remaining details. So you start getting protected oneself. So you could always take a safer and conservative route of while talking about somebody's research in the public media or social media. That is the fundamental tip, if I understand your question properly. Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. There's another question. The question is that patent examiners are taking section 3D so literally. I'm used to read many FERs It seems most of the formulations innovations are also facing Section 3D. In recent annual report of IPO 2018 and 19, there is not any examiners from pharma background. So the question is, what care should be taken during drafting to keep applications out of Section 3D for formulation based innovation?
Dr. Bharat is the right person to tell about this.
Yeah, definitely. I'll answer this question.
Yeah.
Why we raise the objection of 3D as soon as the compound or composition says? Because whenever an examiner is a government officer, is bound by the law and act. He says that compound means if he is not giving therapeutic value or explanation, that is called clinical trials. Definitely for a simple compound or complex, he put the objection of Section 3D, and you can file for first objection there. But if you are replying for that objection with giving or proving the examples theoretically, definitely he will waive the objection, because he wants proof to waive up the objection. But we cannot keep quiet by simply himself knowing here. He knows where the exactly invention, but to be on safer side, to know from you where the exactly invention, what therapeutic value, he put the objection of 3D. So always while drafting, put an example or one or two for proving your therapeutic efficacy. For example, a herbal composition comprising by curing a disease like Parkinson's. If he's taking the plants of Atmagandha and taking the composition with some percentage, with some additional ingredients, with pharmaceutical expense, he has to give how much results he getting with the change in the percentage. For 80 to 80% of the main compound, then excipient, then how much result he is getting. Again, he has to prove 85 to 90% exact extraction he is using and how much. So from this, we can compare with the prior which we are getting search, and then we'll come to know how it is efficacious, how effective. Therefore, always while drafting, keep in mind that please give clinical trial and best example of your invention with best composition, what you want to claim in the claims. You get the broad range, but in claims, you are supposed to claim what exactly reach for which range you are getting the result. That should be in the claim. Then you can give first range 50 to 20% of the main compound, then again excipients, then other ingredients you can give. So always don't forget to give clinical trials with the therapeutic value. Then nobody will object you from getting the patents.
All right, thank you, sir. The question and answer round ends here, and now I introduce you to Dr. Mahesh T. Chhabria. Dr. Mahesh T. Chhabria, an M. Pharma, PhD, and FICS. Dr. Mahesh T. Chhabria is the principal of LM College of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad, with a total teaching experience of around 27 years, a fellow of Gujarat Science Academy, FGSA. He has delivered more than 50 lectures at various scientific symposiums and programs. He has also organized many national and state level seminars and conferences, and has won several awards for research paper presentations. He also functions as a member of Board of Studies in various reputed universities, including GTU. Now I request Sir to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mary. I've been given a pleasant duty of passing a vote of thanks. First of all, I'm happy to see the out of 6 panelists, 3 panelists are alumni of our prestigious LM College of Pharmacy. So being principal, I feel proud to see that they are contributing immensely in this field. Now, before I pass a vote of thanks to the speakers, I must compliment markpatent.org and its associate, Rajiv Gandhi Institute, Nagpur, and specifically Dr. Rajesh Acharya for bringing out this wonderful webinar, and which had given really a very good insight for the IP, for the patent, specifically in the pharma sector, which is growing really very fast.
Now, first of all, I'm very much thankful to Padmin Bhai Buj, the IP domain experts. Since many years, I would say he's among the first in Gujarat who are talking about the IP in pharma. So we feel really proud to take the name of Padmin Bhai, who is alumni of our institute and is contributing immensely in this field. So thank you very much, Padmin Bhai. And he has rightly said, it is inseparable. This IP and pharma are the inseparable twins, and it's really proven. So thank you very much, Padmin Bhai, for being there as a keynote speaker. Thanks to Dr. N.S. Bharat, Assistant Controller of Patent and Design, IPO Mumbai, for his insightful talk. He has given really the basics of how to file the patent, what is patent, how to file it, what are the components of patent, what to do and what don'ts, all he has covered. And really, it's really your insightful talk will be useful to all the participants. And thank you very much, Dr. Bharat, for sparing your valuable time to be with us in this webinar. Thanks to very dynamic pharma entrepreneur, my friend, Dr. Srenik Bhai. He has given insight about the innovation and IP, specifically in pharma sector, and he has nicely narrated with examples. So your talk is also a very good source of inspiration, specifically the students or the scholars who are working in this particular field. Thank you, Shrenik Bhai, for sparing your valuable time with us in this webinar. Next is again domain expert of the IP, Dr. Manish Bhai, Director and CEO of Acuprec Research. We are also proud to see this Dr. Manish Raj, and specifically I witnessed this journey from GTU to Acuprec. So he has really contributed immensely, specifically in IPR sector, especially when he was there in GTU. So his talk covered the broad areas of IPR, how we can convert this IPR into enterprise, or we can earn from the IPR. So thank you very much, Dr. Manish Bhai, for being there and sharing your wisdom and your expertise in this, specifically in this field. We are thankful to all the co-organizers, the USIC, CED, the LM College of Pharmacy, my own organization was there as a co-organizer, GNLU, the Institute of Law, Nirma University, EDI of India, Loyola Center of Research and Development. So we are thankful to them for being there, or being there as a co-organizer in this particular webinar. And last but not least, thanks to all the participants. So being there as a very interactive participant. You could see the number of questions and the type of questions is asked and is answered by all the experts. So thank you very much, all the participants. And lastly, I thank all who have contributed directly or indirectly to make this webinar a very successful one. Thank you, Mary, for taking this webinar or very smoothly and quickly. Thank you very much. Thanks to all.
Thank you, Sabaria sir, for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
LM College of Pharmacy, we are always allowed to have you with us. Okay.
Yes, sir. So we are really proud of you, sir. You all.
We are all together.
And sir, we filed the first patent of LM.
Yeah, exactly. I remember myself and Rajesh Bhai used to go to LM College of Pharmacy every day evening.
Oh.
And we filed the first patent for Pharmacy College. And then, of course, then Pharmacy College filed several patents. So that is the proof of his proactiveness. That is the thing. But you are right, Rajesh Bhai. That was a very wonderful thing we did. Dr. Adesh Rao was one of the inventor of that research.
Yes, right.
I think Chabria sir has recently received the grant of patent in this week only. So congratulations, sir.
Last.
Oh, great.
Yesterday only I received that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
may I
you,
take
Dr.
your
Rajesh
leave
bhai.
then? Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thank
very
you,
much.
Rajesh bhai, Padmin bhai, and everyone
Thank
for
you.
Shrenik
giving
bhai,
me this
thank you.
Thank you,
opportunity.
Shrenik bhai.
Thank you,
There.
sir.
Thank you
Thank you
so
all.
much.
Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right. With this, we end our webinar hereby. We thank our co-organizers and Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Intellectual Property Management, Nagpur, in whose association this webinar has been conducted by MarkPatent.org. I would like to thank all our participants for their active participation, and thank you to all the experts and speakers on this webinar for sharing their speech with us. And this is me, Berry Max, signing off. Thank you. Stay healthy, stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much.